Hello, good morning. Welcome to another wonderful class on practical physics. My name is Mr. Drew, the instructor for this class. Yeah, in today's class, we are looking at simple harmonic motion. Basically, we're going to look at two experiments on it, the one of loaded spring and the one of simple pendulum. But before we move into the practical, we would like us to understand some mistakes students make while performing these experiments. Number one, basically, is the use of a stopwatch. A lot of students do not know how to make use of the digital stopwatch. Well, there are two types of stopwatches. We have the analog and then we have the digital. Funny enough, the analog stopwatch is no longer being used, unlike the digital. So what are the errors that students normally make when using this digital stopwatch? This is a sample of the digital stopwatch. It has basically three buttons. One stands for start and stop. The other one stands for reset, and then the last one stands for mode. Before you start using the stopwatch, ensure that the digits on it is about 5 zeros. 0.00, then another 2 zeros by the right bottom flank of the stopwatch. That mode is stopwatch mode. There's another one that is used for taking time for the day. Basically, you can use it as a wristwatch. That can actually be adjusted using the mode. But before you start using it as a stopwatch, make sure that those 5 zeros actually appear on the stopwatch. The first prominent error students make when using this is to start and to stop the stopwatch. Some students are quick to start and stop the wristwatch, but some, basically, the particles will have gone some few seconds more before they press the stop. Why is this so? Some of the students are not familiar with which of the buttons starts and which of the buttons stops. Funny enough, the stopwatch I'm holding with me has the start and stop button on the same spot. So you have to be familiar with it. Don't necessarily have to look at the stopwatch before you know where these buttons are. That reduces the error that is possible when using the start and stop button on the stopwatch. I'm used to this, so I can start my reading anytime and I can stop it anytime because I'm familiar with it. So also you should also be familiar with it. That is number one. Number two error is when you're done with a reading, most students do not actually reset the stopwatch. They do not reset the stopwatch when they're about to take another reading. And that actually spoils the whole experiment. For instance, if you want to continue from where I stopped, just press the start button and then continue from where I stopped in the previous reading. But if I want to start a new experiment, another reading entirely, then I have to stop. I'll press the reset button and then I'll start all over again and stop. If you don't press the reset button, there is that tendency that you are likely to have an overestimated timing for the experiments you perform. So that is the number two error with the stopwatch. The number three error with the stopwatch is the fact that most students are not actually familiar with the conversion from minutes to seconds using the stopwatch. The digital stopwatch. If, for instance, like I have it on this stopwatch right now, it's 1.10 then 94 microseconds just by it. Now, 1 minute, the first digit there stands for minutes. The second two digits stands for seconds, and then the subsequent ones is a microsecond. So, if all my readings are taken in minutes, or seconds rather, I will definitely have to convert the minute to seconds, the 1 minute to seconds, which is 60 seconds, add it up to the 10 seconds, which I have on it, making 70 seconds, put the decimal point, and then 94 comes after. So, with 1 minute, 10 seconds, microseconds, 94 seconds, if I am to record it into my table of value or my observation table, and all the time is taken in seconds, I will have to change the 1 minute to seconds, which is 60 seconds, Add it to the 10 seconds which is there already, make it 70 seconds, and put a dot and put 94 at the end. That gives me the timing for this very observation. So we need to be very careful when you are using the stopwatch when performing experiments on simple harmonic motion. It might not necessarily be simple harmonic motion, it could as well be any experiments on mechanics or even heat or temperature. So the use of the stopwatch is very, very important. So if you are not familiar with the stopwatch, I advise you walk up to your physics laboratory in your various schools and ask your teachers to demonstrate how the stopwatch is being used. In that way, you'll be familiar with it and you're less likely to make errors when performing experiments. Now, during the course of the experiment itself, especially the simple harmonic motion, some students do actually make a lot of mistakes when taking readings. I'm going to sample this for this class, which is a loaded spring, suspended loaded spring, and a slotted mass. Okay, putting it on this like this. You are asked to displace the mass slightly and allow the body to oscillate, as you can see. I have made some errors with this experiment. The number one error which I've made is my displacement wasn't actually vertical. So the spring was making a kind of conical oscillation, which is supposed to be avoided when performing experiments on simple harmonic motion. Make sure you displace it slightly vertically downwards and allow it to oscillate like this. This is perfect. This is the way a simple harmonic motion displacement should be carried out. If you're not careful, the readings you get might not be as accurate as expected to be. That's number one. Number two is taking the timing for this oscillation. Some students actually think that as soon as you displace the mass, you start the timing. This is absolutely not necessary because the timing can be taken at any point in time during the course of the motion. So you don't have to rush and press at the point of releasing the mass. You can as well wait a little, displace the mass, allow it to oscillate for some time, pick your center of oscillation and start the recording. Like for instance, I'm starting my own measurement from the lowest bottom of this mass. That will form my oscillation, so I can start anytime. So I want to start my timing right now. I'm looking at the mass, I'll take it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And that ends it. And then you note the value down into your table. So you don't necessarily have to start the timing as soon as the mass is displayed. That is absolutely very, very important too. And then the displacement of the mass, which is the last one, it has to be a small vertical displacement. You don't expect to pull the string so much that even while performing the experiment, it is likely to fall off the rate of start. Okay, so you need to be extra careful when you are working on simple harmonic motion with loaded string. In our subsequent class, we're going to look at simple pendulum and how SHM can be performed using simple pendulum, and also what are the likely errors that we encounter while using simple pendulum. Many thanks for listening. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Mr. Duro is my name once again, an evaluation physics instructor. You can log into my Instagram page, my Instagram handle, which is evaluation physics 62, to view more videos on prominent topics that are found in physics. Many thanks for listening. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye-bye.